You find yourself at a meeting face to face with a basket of snacks. Which one do you pick to stay healthy and not wreck your diet? Hi, I'm Dr. Becky from drbeckyfitness.com. I'm a college instructor on the science of nutrition, and in this video I'm going to show you how to quickly evaluate snacks so you can make the best choice and keep your weight under control. So, if I were in this position and I was hungry and I walked up to this basket of snacks, I would go through a quick analysis that just kind of pops in my head. So I thought I would go over that with you so you can kind of use what I do when you evaluate these types of snacks. So I just made a quick graph up here with good and bad. So the first thing I'm going to look for is fiber, a high fiber food. Then my second choices would be a protein food or a healthy fat. They would be about the same for me. The things I'm going to look to stay away from are refined carbohydrates, sugar, and unhealthy fats. A high fiber food is going to be my best choice because in order for a food to be high in fiber, it's got to be as close to its natural state as possible. So that is always going to be my better choice for health and also for weight control. The opposite of fiber is going to be refined carbohydrates. Refining process takes the fiber out so that the food can have a longer shelf life. Added sugars back in just make it extra sweet. They don't add any value other than empty calories. Proteins and healthy fats are going to slow down my digestion. So those foods that contain protein or healthy fats are going to stay in my system longer so that I can make it to the next meal without having to deal with more hunger and cravings throughout the period. Healthy fats. Your body needs a variety of different fats from different foods. Your best bet is going to be your whole fats that come from nuts and seeds, avocados, those types of things. They're not always available in a snack basket, but you can generally be okay with a fat as long as it's not one of the unhealthy fats. These unhealthy fats are the ones we find in processed foods. You can't always take the time to look at a label when you're at a snack bar. So what I would what I would do is basically stay away from anything that's really a processed food, kind of a packaged type of a snack food. Those are probably going to contain your unhealthy fats. If you do have time to look at the label, you want to stay away from trans fats, hydrogenated oils, and vegetable oils, or maybe soybean oils is a lot of times what's listed in the ingredients. These fats create an imbalance in your body between omega-3s and omega-6s, and that's what leads to a lot of our chronic diseases that we see today. All right, so with these things in our back pocket or in our mind, we can evaluate these foods really in a glance. So, like I said, the very first thing I would look for is fiber. What food in here is closest to its natural state? All right, so the obvious choice here is the fruit, the apple that's in here. This is going to be a nice high fiber snack. Apples are generally fairly low in sugar. I know a lot of people are worried about natural sugars. The fiber tends to offset that sugar, so it's not going. You can eat that, feel satisfied, and not have hunger and cravings pop up. All right, so then my next high fiber food would be the nuts. Now, the nuts are a great choice for fiber, protein, and healthy fats. However, that would be for raw nuts and seeds, and you're rarely going to find that in a snack basket. When we look a little bit closer, we notice that these are roasted and salted. What are they roasted in? They're roasted in unhealthy vegetable fat. So that's going to knock them down on my list a little bit. So if I'm going to assign a grade to these, I would give the apple an A. I would give the nuts a B. All right, let's look at the rest of the foods that could have fiber in them. So here we have some granola bars. Granola bars are tough because they're all over the place, right? This one happens to have 2 grams of fiber. If I'm going to evaluate a food, I would like to have at least 3 grams of fiber in it. So it's a little bit on the lower side of fiber, but it does have some. However, this also, its second ingredient is sugar, and its third ingredient is a vegetable oil. So while it gets almost 1+, it also gets 2 minuses. So that's not going to be a great choice. That would probably get about a C minus. You might be able to find some granola bars or bars like that that are higher in protein and don't have the unnatural fats, but they're kind of a crapshoot, right? They're all over the place. Now, here's something else. Here's a biscotti, right? Now, biscotti, right? It's got a fancy name, so you think, well, there's got to be some health value to that. Well, if we use our measuring system, we find out that there's not a whole lot. They have very little fiber, about 1 gram of fiber, and they also have added sugar as their second ingredient. So these are really not going to be of much value to you. You'll eat it, it'll go in your system very quickly, and it'll leave very quickly. At best, it will make you want to eat a second one, and at worst, it will only curb your hunger for maybe a half an hour or so. Then we think about pretzels, right? We think of pretzels as a natural treat, as a healthy treat. Well, it's really just a refined carbohydrate, right? This is not close to its natural state. This has been milled and refined quite a bit. So this has the refined carbohydrates that are going to absorb into your system very quickly. And while it doesn't really have a lot of sugar or fats, it's not going to be something that's going to sustain you that well. So I'd probably put that in about the C range if I'm giving a grade to these things. Now, let's look at some of these other types of foods. So here we've got toasted peanut butter crackers. So we think, well, peanut butter, right? That's got some protein to it. Maybe that's a good choice. Well, these are highly refined crackers, and the peanut butter is very far from the original nut. So we see that this not only has high refined carbohydrates, but it also has a lot of the unnatural fats. So that is a very poor choice. I'd probably put that in the D range. Oatmeal cream pie, right? Oatmeal is healthy, right? So maybe this is healthy. Well, this also, refined food, very, very little oatmeal left in this, very high in added sugars, and it's got the vegetable oils that it's cooked in. So that's going to be a D minus probably if we're looking for an afternoon snack. This could actually go a little bit lower. I probably would give this an F. So this is a honey bun, and it not only has added sugars, completely refined, 0 fiber, it also has the unhealthy fats. So this has got everything going against it. This would be a very poor choice for a snack. All right, so that kind of gets us out of all the fiber foods. Now, what about protein? Well, we could go for cheese, yogurt, or this beef stick, right? So those would be your protein foods that I have available here. Now, we think, well, okay, like a Slim Jim or a beef jerky or something like that, that's at least going to give me some protein, which is true. However, this has a lot of added sugar. In fact, sugar is the second ingredient on the list. If sugar is one of your top 3 ingredients, it's probably too high in sugar to be a healthy snack. What about cheese? Now, cheese is very high in protein. It's got okay fats in it. It's not going to be fried in the vegetable oils or anything like that. And it's got a lot of protein, no fiber. So I would probably give a stick of cheese about a B rating. I don't do a whole lot of dairy, but if you're just in a snack, a meeting every couple of days, something like that would be okay. Yogurt we often think of as a healthy snack, and yogurt can run the gamut also. This yogurt has added sugar to it, so that's in the minus column. It has no fiber, it does have protein, and it's got okay fats in it. So this would be a so-so snack, probably about a B minus in my book. Oh, all right, so dark chocolate. So this is maybe one of those that is the most confusing. These are mini dark chocolates, and so you think, well, dark chocolate, we hear about that all the time in health news. That's got to be a good snack, and it would taste great. Well, here's the thing. If it doesn't have at least 70% of that cacao, that healthy cocoa, that healthy chocolate in it, then you're not getting the health values. 70 and above cacao type of chocolates have more of a bitter taste to them. So a lot of times when we have them packaged for snack foods, there's a lot of sugar and sweetener added to them to take away some of that bitter flavor, and that brings down the health value and takes away all the nutrients that were originally in that cacao bean. So this one, there's nothing on here that tells me what the percentage is of cacao, so I'm going to guess that it's probably not 70 or above, or they would use that as part of their advertising. So really, this is probably a D on my book as far as health value, maybe even a D minus. So there you go. So here's the takeaway. When you come across a snack bar like this and you don't want to wreck your diet, but you are hungry, think fiber. Think of foods that are closest to their natural state, and you'll do your best choosing. So there you go. I hope that was helpful. If it was, please subscribe to my YouTube channel here, or head on over to drbeckyfitness.com where I've got more nutritional information for you. Thanks.